Wow, I wish y'all could see how I MacGyvered this. Hello and welcome back. This week I'm excited because I'm reviewing Alan Perry's poetry collection, Echoes. It was just so pretty outside, I couldn't help but to check it out. Hopefully there are some tours going on campus. I'm at CU's campus today, and hopefully no one's too loud in the background. So, Echoes. It's something else. It's very emotional, it's very descriptive, and I really liked it. So it's broken up into 3 parts. There's the diagnosis, Sylvie, and the time after. And the fun thing about diagnosis is that it's just very, I don't know, I don't even think fun is the right word, but it's very thoughtful. Actually, the whole collection is thoughtful, but for context, in speaking with Perry, he let me know that Echoes is kind of a memoir of sorts. Now, having that background knowledge makes the collection that much more poignant, and in case you didn't see my author interview, I'll try to remember to link that down below. So it makes it more poignant, it makes it more powerful in a way. Whereas, like, if I wouldn't have known that, I would have thought that maybe Perry was like imagining someone going through this. So it hits different. Basically, the diagnosis, the narrator, presumably Perry, is reflecting on a time in his life when he found out that his grandfather didn't have a whole lot more time. And it's almost like being thrust into not so much like not exactly the stages of grief, but kind of. He seems kind of like in shock a little bit. It's kind of like, I don't know if y'all have ever lost someone. I actually just lost my dog a few months ago, and it's funny, my sister actually just said the other day, like, it doesn't feel right that he's gone. And that's kind of the vibe that I got from the first chunk of Echoes. It's that feeling where you know objectively that something has happened, that someone is no longer with us, but it just doesn't feel like that can be true. It feels like they're just in another state, or they're in another country, or, you know, they're just out of reach, basically. So I thought that was really interesting because Perry just captured that feeling so well. Now, the second part, Sylvie, takes a turn. Whereas the first and the third parts are straight up poems. They're not very long poems. Sylvie is just kind of a monologue of sorts. I don't know if I'd quite call it a soliloquy, getting into that, like, very specific structure of writing, but it's kind of as though when you've lost someone, when you just kind of are talking to them as though they're still there, and you're having this one-sided conversation, but you're imagining like what they would say. So I don't know exactly if Sylvie is the grandmother, but that's the vibe that I got. She's definitely talking to someone that she loves who's clearly no longer there, which leads me to believe that she's the grandmother. And again, it's just so personal. And it's not sad in the like, oh my gosh, I just miss you so much, I'm so upset. Like, there's definitely elements of that, but it's kind of the whole like, oh, I wish you could have been there to see it. This thing happened and you missed out, and I wish I could have shared it with you. So I'm gonna catch you up on it now. So it's almost like, if we are going to equate it to the stages of grief, it's getting closer to the acceptance. It's pretty much there, but maybe not quite. But it's at least being at peace with what happened. As for the last section, it's the shortest. It seems as though it's after the thing has happened. It's after you've been upset. It's after you've been kind of in denial. It's after you've kind of accepted it. It's where you've kind of started to move on a little bit. That's kind of the vibe that I got from part 3. And I don't know. I think even though it was certainly well written and still very, very descriptive, I liked parts 1 and 2 a little bit more just because they felt more engaging somehow. But the whole collection overall is just very, very good. I really enjoyed it. I think, and I already said this, but I think Perry just really expertly captured emotions in his descriptions of the events and the people and the feelings described in the poems. And so because they were so rich, it made them just very, very enjoyable, such an easy read, and such a good read. So that's all that I've got for Alan Perry's Echoes. It should be out soon if it's not by the time that this is posted, so keep an eye on his site. And next week I will be reviewing The Former Boy by Robert Gran. Thank you so much to Isabel Kenyon for reaching out to me about this book blog. I'm very excited to take part. In the meantime, happy reading and thanks.